Not much.
Okay.
Okay, we are going to adjourn the Board of Education closed session and convene the Board of Education open session at 7:03. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by good folks from Monrovia High School.
Thank you. President Hammond, members of the board, Dr. Trosian, cabinet, community members. My name is Kirk McGinnis, and it's an honor and privilege to be principal at Monrovia High School. This evening, I have three outstanding Wildcats that I'd like to introduce you to, primarily because they're just outstanding, wonderful kids on our campus, but more importantly because they have some accolades that they've earned both in the CIF realm. Cortez Herrera, standing right to my left, he is a CIF sectional qualifier in the sport of golf. He's gone the farthest in our history at Monrovia High School. He shot a 72 and a 76, so those of you who are golfers know that that's pretty impressive. And we're very proud of his accomplishments. Next to him right next on the end here is Madeline Conti. She is a freshman, and she is our CIF Division III 300 hurdler, second place finalist. Wow. And in the middle is Inaya Jamal, and she is our CIF Division III 300 hurdler champion. So congratulations to all three of these three. They're outstanding students, both in the classroom and bring us accolades in their competitive field. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Cortez Herrera to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
And Cortez, while you're here, if you would just share with us just a little bit, not only about your accolades, but also what does Monrovia High School mean to you right now?
Monrovia High School has been a very good home for me at the moment. I've been in the Monrovia School District my whole life, so since elementary school and middle school. I attended Brad Oaks Elementary School, into Clifton Middle School, and now Monrovia High School. The academic programs have been very fun. As like for MASA, from the Math and Science Academy, I participated in the junior project science fair, and that, like I said, very fun. The golf team has been very open and welcoming, and I'm sure with the team has gotten very, very good since I was a freshman. Now I'm a current junior, and says it, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then we're going to close off with Inaya, who would like to share a little bit about her successes and where she's planning on going next school year. And then in a few years, we'll hear from Maddie about her plans as well. So Inaya.
Well, first I want to thank Mr. McGinnis for inviting us, and thank you, board, for having us. I've only been at Monrovia High School for 2 years. I transferred into the district last year, mainly focused on track and field because the school that I came from did not have an amazing track program. I came to Monrovia, of course, scared, being a junior, not really having any friends, but I can honestly say that the student body was very inviting, and I can honestly say that I have a second family at Monrovia High School. Not only being on the team was better than my previous school, but also the academics. I see my A-push teacher, Ms. Van Dyke, here, and I loved her class last year, and I can honestly say that I love like all of the AP classes that I'm taking this year, not only because the teachers, they are very nice, and we get good education from them. Next year I'll be attending Howard University in DC. Thank you. And I'll be studying biology on a pre-med track because I want to be a surgeon. So again, I want to thank the board and thank Mr. McGinnis and thank Monrovia as a whole for accepting me as a transfer student. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like you're really digging it.
Isn't there one more person?
No hugs and kisses for you.
Good job, congratulations. Good job. Congratulations. So what's your favorite course?
Thank you guys for being here. I sure do appreciate it. And congratulations on your continuing your journey. We're going to open tonight's meeting in honor of Simon Pavakin, who is Charles's brand new son. I don't know if anybody was paying attention last meeting, but he had to sneak out before the meeting was over because he was afraid his wife was going into labor. And we told him he needed to produce a baby before we had our next meeting, so everything turned out just fine. So he was born on May the 19th. Welcome to the world. Roll call will show everybody here. Obviously, Charles is not here, but he has a pretty good excuse. And Ed is currently not here, but he is excused. We had a closed session and we took no reportable action. Is there any, let's go, change order of business. May I have a vote or a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Have a vote, please.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Then approval of the minutes on the regular meeting on May the 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Maybe please have the vote.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Now, I am going to recognize a couple of great students. Can you guys join me over here? Every year, we're able to get two great students, one from Canyon and one from MHS, to come and join us to be our student leaders during our board meeting. And I've been here for, I think, 7 years, and I've seen some pretty good talent coming through. This year, it was taken up a whole nother notch. Great people. We've had Annalisa, who represents MHS, and we have Jared, who represents Canyon. And each week that they come and give their school report, we get to find out from a snapshot what it looks like on campus through the students' eyes. And for us that don't get to spend all day on campus, it sure is fun to hear about all the things that happen that are going on their respective campuses. They're both going to be graduating, so this will be their last meeting, because by the time we get to meet again, it'll almost be all over for you, except for just a little bit of more time. But I'd be remiss if I did not say that we're going to miss you both greatly. It's been a joy working with you this last 9 months that seem to have just flown by. And when I give you this little small token of our appreciation, I would really like to know, and I think the folks here would like to know, what your next step in life is going to be. So I would like to thank and congratulate Jared Cupp very much for all you've done for us all year long. It's sure greatly appreciated. You get 2 things. And Annalisa, you have been extraordinary, and it has just been a great pleasure to work with you. So if you wouldn't mind going first, let us know what your next steps are, because we sure do want to know what's happening.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to say thank you for all being here today, and I want to thank everyone on the board and Dr. Trosian for this opportunity, and Mr. Dawes as well for making this possible. Thank you for being here as well. I know it's out of your way. It was honestly a great experience being on the board, and maybe one day I'll be up here long time from now. Next year I'll be going to Cal State San Marcos and majoring in business.
I would just like to thank the board, that's Dr. Throsian, and the staff at Mountain Park for giving me this opportunity to be a student board member. The experience of just being on this board, of seeing how it all functions, how the meetings play out, it was all a very rewarding experience, and I'd just like to thank you all for that. Thank you. And I don't really know what else to say, really.
Now we get our picture taken with you. Come on. Oh, I don't know. I'll find out. Up next, I'd like to have Mr. McGinnis come up and please introduce to the community some very outstanding students.
Thank you, Board Vice President Hammond. Good evening again. This year has been exceptionally talented, full of talented, wonderful people. And this year, our Performing Arts Conservatory group has done an outstanding job. Their production, multiple productions, but their production of In the Heights has garnered a great deal of attention, a great deal of earned and achieved attention, and some awards. And so tonight we have some members in the audience, both our leaders and our performers, that I'd like to introduce. So I'd like to have Angelo Collado and Nate Overby come on up, as well as Angie Portillo is here, and Mason Tyler is here, and Sophia Pachidi is here. And did I miss anybody else? All right. And I asked Nate to talk a little bit about, come on over here, scoot over here, to talk a little bit about In the Heights specifically, and more importantly, the Jerry Herman Awards. The Jerry Herman Awards are it's an exceptional opportunity for our students and our cast to be recognized. And so, Nate, would you talk a little bit about that process and who has earned what? Come on up.
Hi, my name is Nate Overby. I'm the Director of Performing Arts at Monrovia High School. The Jerry Herman Awards are basically the Tony Awards for the Los Angeles County area in high school musical theater. You can submit your show for adjudication, and if it's accepted, which ours was, they have judges go to all the performances, judge them, adjudicate them, and then they hand out awards based on 12 different categories. Out of the 12 different categories, we were nominated in 8. We were the most nominated school in the entire Los Angeles performing area, which includes other schools such as LA County Performing Arts and the California School of Performing Arts, who were our competitors. We were one out of, I think, 5. There was 6 schools, performing arts schools, that were nominated for Best Production of the Year. There was 2 public schools, the rest were all private performing arts schools, and we were one of those public schools nominated for Best Production. We got to go, the Jerry Herman's is sponsored by the Pantages, so we have a fun night where we all get to get dressed up and go downtown LA and have a big award ceremony where they give out all of the best awards, and we tied for most wins with 2 awards of the night. The award, there's too many nominations to talk about, so let's just talk about the wins, or the students that we have here. We were nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Kijana was not able to make it today, but he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. We were nominated for Best Supporting Actress, which is Angie right over here. Close to 40 schools were represented at the Jerry Herman's, and when you're talking about supporting actor, you're talking about 3 to 4 supporting actresses per production. So if you do the math, that is quite a large group of people that she was singled out with, as well as Kijana. We were also nominated for Best Lead Actress and Lead Actor. Our lead actor was right there, Jojo Crago. He is trying to get here from work. He may have got held up in traffic, I don't know. And then also Sophia as our leading actress. Sophia and Jojo got to go and actually perform on stage. They went and did a 3-day rehearsal process with professional choreographers and directors from the industry, and then got to perform in several numbers on stage during the award. So that was very exciting for us to see our students up there. And then last but not least, one of my personal favorite awards, because of what it stands for, is the No Small Part Award, which basically they granted to somebody who did an outstanding job. It's not tied to a specific category. It's just somebody who really owned what they were doing on stage, whether it was a big part, small part, or whatever that would be. And it could be anybody from any performance in the entire LA County area out of all of these schools. They only had 6 nominees, and our very own Mason Tyler was nominated in that category. So in terms of the nominations, Trost and I already talked a little bit about this, but we spoke a lot during the process of In the Heights about the idea that professionalism really just means consistency. That's what it means to be professional. To show up day after day and be consistent in what you're doing despite what's going on with your family or what's going on at school or whatever it might be. You come in, you do your best, you're consistent. And to me, that's what 8 nominations means. Regardless of the wins or the losses, 8 nominations means that we were consistent across the board, and that is definitely one of the proudest moments for me to have received all of that. In terms of wins, our very own Angelo won for best choreography. For those of you who don't know Angelo, he is our technical director at Monrovia High School, but you may not know he's also a choreographer. So he designed and built the set. He did the lighting design, and we got nominated for that as well. And he did the choreography and won for best choreographer in the entire LA area. So very proud of him. Very, very lucky that we are able to have him on the team, somebody who can fill so many hats for us. And then the other category that we won was Best Technical Crew. Our stage manager was not able to make it, Samantha Avalos, but I'm not even sure if you know this. Samantha started in tech theater 2 years ago with us. She had never done tech theater before. As a junior, she started stage managing. She loved it. Did it for 2 years, wanted to come back as an alumni this year. She graduated last year, came back as an alumni to do it, and won an award for Best Technical Crew. So she's not here, but she definitely deserves a round of applause. And get up here. What are you doing? This is Matthew. Come on up. He was part of he was one of the leaders of our ensemble group. You may have seen him dancing up on stage with the spray cans. And that's one of the beautiful things about theater. Yes, there's the artistic element to it, but there's so many people involved, so many people coming together, working with one task. To have all those people on a team with one goal, and then to kind of culminate with the way that it did was really, really inspiring and awesome to be. So I want to thank Mr. McGinnis and the board. You know, a lot of the shows that you see nominated at the Jerry Hermans are kind of repeat shows that high schools tend to do a lot. No other school was mentioned of doing In the Heights. No other school did In the Heights. And I think that that's one of the reasons why we were recognized the way we were. I think that part of it was we were recognized for taking on a show that's maybe a little more mature, that deals with some tougher subject matter. And I told the kids at the very beginning of this production that when you take on a show like this, it's a higher level of responsibility. You almost have to earn the right to be able to do a show like this, because if you do this at like a subpar level, the conversation will just be, why do they think they could do this? Why are they doing a show like this? They're not ready for a show like this. So we talked a lot about that. The students stepped up in a big way. The nominations kind of helped us solidify that. And so, like I said, that is a big thank you to our administration and to the board for allowing us to do subject matters like this. On this weekend, Angela and I are going to a retirement party for a friend who has been a drama teacher for years and years, and he's retiring because the administration basically kicked him out because they did not support him. They didn't let him they didn't let him create. They didn't let him be an artist. They wanted the same kind of cookie cutter type stuff year after year. So your support is not lost on me. I'm so grateful for it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fantastic job.
Oh, sorry. Up next, Dr. Jackson is going to introduce to the community some really incredibly talented and important people. I did a quick back of the envelope calculation, and 11 people have contributed to 269 years of education. That makes it sound like a lot, doesn't it? But this is the talent. This is the talent pool that you guys are in. 269 years of combined education. That is amazing, amazing. And our students and our community are the benefactors because of all your hard work. And forget being the board president, just being a person in this community, I deeply appreciate everything that you guys have done throughout the ages. I mean, 269 years. Incredible. Well, it is ages. If you think about where Monrovia is at 133 years old as a community, we have lasted a tremendous amount, and you guys are responsible for the place that we're in today. Thank you very much. Dr. Jackson, can you?
Rob, how do you follow that up? That sounds like the introduction.
Well, I didn't know anybody did.
Okay. Board Vice President Hammond, members of the board, Dr. Terosian, and community members. This evening, we are honored to recognize and celebrate our exceptional and talented classified and certificated retirees. Those who have joined us this evening have served the Monrovia Unified School District for more than 20 years, so those that are present. And then the additional ones, you have more than 200 plus years. When individuals speak of them, they have communicated a similar theme. They highlight their exceptional skills and expertise in their positions and talk about their commitment to our community, the district, and most importantly, our students. To reinforce these sentiments, their site administrators or colleagues have asked to say a few words to honor these special individuals. So with no further ado, speaking on behalf of Dr. Jarvis from Monroe, Miss Lisbeth Montiel. Okay. That's okay, you're on.
Okay. So first I'd like to talk a little bit about Karen Jones. Monaco had Princess Grace. England has Queen Elizabeth and Princesses Meghan and Kate. But at Monroe, we have our own queen, Karen Jones. She's missing her tiara, but she does have one.
Come on up, Queen Jones, as we talk about you.
No problem. Karen Jones, she just greets every student and staff member with a bright smile and a warm hug. She teaches, she nurtures, she challenges and encourages all of us to be the best that we can be. In her classroom, the queen demands her subjects, her students, to give 100%. And she's always there to help that child develop a love for learning while growing and evolving into a Monroe lion. There have been some challenging days over her 35-year career, but with a ton of compassion and a few proven teaching strategies, those challenges blossom and grow as learners. She never gives up and starts each day fresh and ready to conquer. Her classroom is filled with love, understanding, and she provides a safe environment for all her kids. Many students return to Mrs. Jones' class to share their accomplishments and show how far they've come. Queen Karen pulls those kids into a hug and lights up with every story they share. Her throne may be a well-worn teacher's chair, but her reign is strong and her legacy is powerful. Hail Queen Karen. Long live our queen. We love you.
Hi. And they don't like to give me the mic either because I like to stay on the mic. But I appreciate and I adore Monrovia Unified School District. I've been here, like we said, 35 years, and it's not a lot of ages, just a little, that I've come and learned from the best. And I appreciate my second family being here from Monroe. I really love that they're here to support me as the Queen of Monroe. And I will leave my crown to the next second grade teacher at Monroe for EO time. I told my granddaughter when she graduates from Monroe, I said, I'm walking with her with just my purse and my crown. And so in 8 days, not counting or anything, we'll be walking together. And I appreciate Monroe and Monrovia Unified School District. Thank you for 35 wonderful years.
And now can we have Mrs. Kramer come up? If you're having a bad day, or if you need a word of encouragement, or you just need someone to walk around the block with, you have to look no further than Juana Kramer. She has the most positive spirit of any teacher and can brighten a room with just her smile and sometimes her goofy reactions. We won't tell those stories. Our littlest lions walk into her classroom a little dazed and confused sometimes, but Juana takes her brood and prepares them on their journey to becoming lifelong learners. Shoes tied, noses wiped, and tears dried, Mrs. Kramer teaches her students to read, count, write, and gives them a foundation they need to be successful throughout their school careers. Juana greets her students each morning with a love of teaching and gently but firmly guides them as they manage the demands of the classroom and becoming a student. She's a leader, and she shares her wealth of knowledge with our staff and our families and is always ready to help anyone with whatever they need. I wasn't going to be here tonight, so this is saying that I was going to say something. This is really hard for me to do, but in honor of my good friend Juana, I have to say it, go Bruins. Congratulations, Juana.
Thank you so much. This is my dream job, being a kindergarten teacher. And I'd like to thank Monrovia Unified School District for all the in-services. I'd like to thank all the in-services, made me a good teacher. And I'd like to thank all my colleagues because they even made me a greater teacher. And I'm going to miss them dearly, and my dream is coming to an end. But my best jobs are going to be coming in my retirement. But I'll miss everybody. Thank you.
We ask that you all stick around for the group photo at the end. Okay. Director of Alternative Programs, Mr. Flynn Furtick.
Thank you, Vice President Hammond, members of the board, Dr. Trosian, and Cabinet. We'd like to start off by recognizing a teacher who's been with the alternative programs for all 12 years that I've been there, and it's Mr. Tom Rosenstein. If he'd come up, please. Tom is one cool guy. I'm going to miss him more as a friend, I think, than anything. It's not often that you can say that you work with people who are truly good friends, but Tom is one of those people. And I have so many things I could talk everyone's ear off, but I want to start off by talking a little bit about Tom. Tom is truly one of the kindest people I've ever met. At Canyon Oaks, we have many students who come from underprivileged backgrounds. When we first got there had never been a student from Canyon Oaks High School that attended a four-year university. And as we began to get that process started, many of our students were beginning to understand that that was an option for them. And they were very trepid and tentative to go. Remember one young lady whose family did not want her to go to college. They wanted her to stay home and work and at the home, providing for the family's needs. And she had an opportunity to go to St. John's University, where she was accepted in New York City. And she was just taking such a big step. She was terrified to go, couldn't afford to go on the visit. And I remember Mr. Rosenstein very quietly paid for the bulk of her ticket to go, the hotel room and everything that was needed, wanted no recognition for this, so I'm sorry, I'm lifting the veil tonight, but made sure that that child had the opportunity to go and see that wonderful university and what she'd earned. And he did it very quietly, and he also said, if there's anything else needed, just let me know. And he did that, ladies and gentlemen, multiple times. Out of the kindness of his heart, very quietly, for each student that he could help, Tom stepped up and did that again and again and again. He also multiple times, I know, would reach out to kids that he saw needed things or needed extra time, and he would offer it. Many times Tom was there late. Kids wouldn't show. Sometimes he would just stay and give every opportunity to every kid to help them to grow. Tom didn't always stay as a teacher. He had a career earlier at Monrovia High School, and then he left to go be a businessman, which later helped him as he became an economics teacher. One of my favorite stories he would often share, relate with his students, a story about opportunity costs, where he had an employee at his ice cream business who decided that she might want to take the weekend off. And he told the employee, well, you can do that, but the opportunity cost is you wouldn't have a job, for those of you who understand economics. This employee chose to take the opportunity cost and left. And when she came back, true to his word, Mr. Rosenstein did not have a job for her. Later on, this girl became a mother of our Mountain Park population and often relayed to her children that same story. One of the students, or her children, later was in Mr. Rosenstein's class and got that story and knew immediately that it was about his mom. And was very proud to tell everybody that now, at a much later age in life, she definitely knew what an opportunity cost was. So that was kind of one of the things that Mr. Rosenstein did. Mr. Rosenstein is an extremely athletic person for his age. At one point in time, Mr. Rosenstein was is it scratch? What was your handicap? 6. So where's our 72 shooter in here that left earlier? Tom was an incredibly good athlete. He also played tennis up until just recently when he hurt his leg, but he's always been incredible, enough so that the students always knew that Mr. Rosenstein could handle himself. And they would say, he's in good shape. That guy's in good shape. They have a picture that they made and put on the door that looked just like Montgomery Burns. Look at Tom, a little bit. And so they would have these about Mr. Rosenstein would always tell them how to save their money, how to pinch their pennies in economics, and those lessons stuck. Like I said, Mr. Rosenstein gave and gave and gave right to the very end, and then he gave me an honest answer that this would be his last year. And I did everything to talk him. Now, there's teachers that I'm like, okay, great, last year, we'll see ya. With Tom, absolutely did everything I could to talk him into staying one more year, anything that he could give. All he said is he'll come back and sub occasionally. That's good enough. Still glad to have him here. So, Tom, this is for you, and thanks.
Thank you. Well, this is awkward because no one told me I had to say anything. As a social studies teacher, I could make up things for hours. But I'm just going to give you a preview that they've let me be the keynote speaker at the graduation. So I think I should all invite you because I'll have a lot more to say there. But anyway, thank you very much. Thanks for everybody coming out. Thanks to my wife for being here. And I've enjoyed all 35 years of teaching, and I hope you guys find something to be as passionate about as I have. Thank you.
Vice President Hammond, members of the board, student board members, Dr. Therosian, and our cabinet. It is my great privilege to follow Flint Fertig, which is never fun to do. But I get the privilege to call up Mary Archibald, who is retiring after 50 years of education service. Mary's here tonight with her daughter Katie, her grandson Nate, her son-in-law Eric, and 2 of her students, Maggie and Marianne. And it's fitting that two of her students would be here. Mary was 33 years in Baldwin Park as a kindergarten teacher. And there was some overlap, but she's been 23 years with the Monrovia Community Adult School. So, and she is a plein air and watercolor instructor. So a community-based class, but if there's anybody that has incredible institutional knowledge, it's Mary, because she's been with us before we were in our new campus. She has been here a long time and seen a lot of changes in adult ed. But most importantly, Mary is an incredible instructor. She's already retired from her kindergarten world in K-12, but not only is she an unbelievable instructor, and I got to evaluate her a number of times, solid instruction, great models, everything that she pulled from elementary was beneficial for her students. But most importantly, what she created was a sense of community. And I got to come in and see that community, and it's part of what we get to do in adult ed, is to see the little communities that are brought together around. And we know that the arts are the answer. We know that in this district that we've made a commitment to the arts. And so having Mary's passion and commitment in these plein air classes, in case you don't know what plein air is, because I didn't, it's where they actually meet out in the outside areas, and they paint whatever. They go to Huntington Gardens, and they have a whole agenda for the whole semester, and they get to meet outdoors and paint outside. And then she also had a watercolor class. But her time in creating this community was a privilege for me to be able to watch. The loyalty and the love that these students had for this instructor was powerful. She's had a really difficult time because her husband's gone through some medical issues, and that's been a real difficult journey for her as she's gone into this. But to be able to have 50 years and to say, I taught and I helped transform lives for 50 years is a really powerful thing to take with you the rest of your life. So, Mary, we really, really appreciate all that you've done for us and all that you have done for your students.
Thank you very much.
If any of you retired teachers wonder what to do, I got to teach the best two classes in the world. I got to go out and paint and meet a lot of wonderful people who are, somebody used the word lifelong learners. Well, we are that part of your, whatever you call it, that we have to have. We had lifelong learners, and they were just the slows. Thank you very much. And I did know that at one time.
You don't need to know it anymore.
Good. Anyhow, we had a wonderful time. I also have had an opportunity to watch people become really good artists. I have students who've won awards, and they're just amazing. So I can't thank you enough for giving me my second job. It has been a pleasure for me to get to do this. I've been able to go and see beautiful places in our area that you could not even imagine are there. And I've learned one thing, that there is great beauty in this world. If all you have to do is look up at the mountains, look at the sky, look at the trees, look at your family, look at your friends, and the beauty is there in every way. And I've gotten to go out and paint in plein air to do that, and I also have managed to accumulate about 1,000 paintings as I've done as demos. So it's been a really fun time for me, and I can't thank you enough.
Principal Kirk McGinnis, Monrovia High School.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank 269 years. That's an impressive addition problem, but I think that's a more impressive contribution to our community and our students and their families. I am honored to introduce to you two outstanding Wildcat employees at our school. First, Carol Summerall, would you come join me up here? Carol has been a secretary at Monrovia High School for 29 years, and she is the calming voice that holds everybody together. When I first came to the high school, she was my secretary, and we ran the discipline office and the activities office, and a whole bunch of things were going on. We had all the security officers, we had all the custodians, and she had multiple calendars. And the phone is ringing, I'm asking her questions, how do I do this, what am I supposed to do next? And she is calmly answering the phone, answering the walkie-talkie, figuring out where the next event is happening, all the while with a very calming voice, a very soothing tone, and a very professional attitude with everything that she's embraced. And that's been the case from even before my time, and even now as she's working with Mr. Eiler, the same thing happens. Our calendars have grown, and now instead of looking at one or two computer screens or tabs, she has like 36 or 42 or 58 calendars because there's a lot going on at Monrovia High School. And everybody on our campus, every student, every parent, every staff member knows that we can call Carol and get our question answered in a quick, timely, and professional manner. And so it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you and help allow her to celebrate her years of service to our schools. Her kids have been through our schools. They come back and visit, and we all are so grateful and thankful for what you've done for us, Carol. Thank you so much, and we are going to miss you.
I'll just say a couple words. I'm looking at Darvin. I was his first secretary when he came to Monrovia Unified School District, and he was a great boss. Thank you, school board. It's been an amazing journey. I've met so many amazing friends, some that I'm still in touch with to this day. But I do look forward to the next season in life, spending more time with my family and my grandchildren. But thank you so much. I've been blessed to know all of you. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Annie Van Dyke, come join me up here, please. So social studies teachers do have many words to say, and one of the things that we've learned about Annie Van Dyke in her time with us at Monrovia High School, 21 years, by the way. She took a little bit of time off to raise her girls and then come back to us. But in our time with Annie, what we have learned is to be better educators, better parents, better friends, better colleagues. And Annie does that with every single word that she says, every single action that she takes. Comes from the right spot. It helps make the people around her better people. Annie Van Dyke has taught almost every single grade. I think all 4 of them, right? She is a master with 9th grade students, helping them learn how to navigate high school. She is a master at every single grade. She's a master at helping seniors figure out how to navigate the next steps. And not just sort of like helping them along, she owns them. She knows exactly what colleges they've applied to. She helps counsel them. She helps celebrate them. She helps edit their essays. She helps navigate which school might be the best choice for them. And when they fall and they stub their toe, she's there to help pick them up. She's also one of my friends that's in the hallway, wrangling people up. Come on, guys, it's time to go to class. Come on, it's time to go. And every single word that she says is always with that great smile, but it's with this sense of urgency, because when Annie Van Dyke speaks, you better follow her words. And I'm saying that as a colleague, and then also as a parent. My kids have had the opportunity to be in her class, and when she told them to do something, and I was helping them along, she said, "Oh, Dad, that's not what Miss Van Dyke said. she said we have to do it this way, and I said, okay, I'm going to listen to her. But our school community is stronger because of people like Annie, and it's going to be a great, huge loss to have you not on our campus. But I know that you're going to continue to contribute your wealth and dedication and care for the love of learning to many, many more students as you continue your volunteer work down at Homeboy Industries. She's going to ride the Gold Line down a couple days a week and tutor students down there as well. So that love of learning and teaching is going to continue on. Miss Annie Van Dyke.
Very much. Monrovia Unified and the school board and my former boss, thank you very, very much. I was a first-year teacher when Mr. Rosenstein was still at the high school, a long time ago. When I came to Monrovia Unified, I was a part-time teacher. I think my first contract was for 50%, and then by the time the kids came, I was teaching English and all sorts of stuff to put my schedule together. And over the course of the last 28 years, I came as a bride, and I depart with 2 college graduates. And so we all got to grow up at Monrovia High School, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Dr. Jeff Samaripa, come on up. Santa Fe Computer Magnet School.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Good evening, Board Vice President Hammond, board members, Dr. Terosian, cabinet, and community members. It is my honor and privilege to celebrate with some wistfulness the retirement of Mr. Tony Ellis from the Santa Fe Computer Science Magnet School. I came to Monrovia as really he was just turning the page on his last chapter. But in the 2 short years I've had the honor and privilege of calling him my colleague, I have learned much and been inspired by the wisdom and the passion that he imparts every day with his music students. Mr. Ellis has been a teacher of music students in Monrovia, primarily in Santa Fe, for 33 years. Going into Mr. Ellis's class is magic. He literally brings the music to life. He explains to kids how the violins must talk to the brass, and how the brass then will respond to the rest of the symphony, if you will, at a certain measure. And when he stops the kids to instruct them on what they're doing, you can feel, it's magic. You can feel their instruments taking over for, as the phrase goes, where words fail, the music enters. And so this magic happens every day in room 31 at Santa Fe, as it has for many years. And knowing Mr. Ellis, he's very quiet, he's very humble. And the room is, by all standards, probably rather plain, but it's not about that. It's about the magic that he creates with the music. Last night, we had a wonderful celebration in our gym, and many people were able to attend that are here this evening, and he conducted his last concert. And we had many different people speak, and we had teachers also perform, and it was a wonderful celebration, but at the heart of it were the kids. And so the beginning band kids, just between, 95 days ago or whatever, when we were there for the Christmas concert, maybe 100 days, you could hear the difference in how they had improved. Their music was so clear and so beautiful. And then at the end, when they brought a big cake out, a beautiful cake, I walked back up there, and there wasn't a dry eye with these kids. These are 11 to 14-year-olds, and one of them had said to me, now I'm getting choked up again. He said, I made a promise to Mr. Ellis that I wouldn't cry. And this morning he told me, I broke the promise. And it's just magic to see what you do with the kids every day. And they really, truly have gone out into Monrovia for 33 years better because of spending time and learning about music with Mr. Ellis. I have for you a rather humble bouquet of irises, but the flower of the city of Monrovia, irises, because for 33 years, Tony Ellis, with your passion, with your commitment, with your dedication to the children of Monrovia, you have made many children bloom. Congratulations and thank you.
As one of my colleagues reminded me today, she says, Monrovia Unified is going to love you to death, almost literally. Everybody has been so incredibly nice to me, not just in my retirement, but from the day I got here. And I am so impressed to be part of a group of people who spend every day and every hour and every minute for the benefit of others. And the reason I feel humble is because I'm around people like you every day. Every day that what you do is for other people. And educating our kids and making them better people. I was lucky enough to have a wonderful middle school teacher who helped me find my place in life. And I felt that was my responsibility as a middle school music teacher for those kids who realize that that is their place. Every kid has a place. It might be athletics, it might be academics, whatever it is. Some of our kids, their place is music. That's where they feel at home. That is the reason they want to go to school. And that's what I've tried to foster. And we all do that every day. And I am so incredibly proud to have spent 33 years at a district that everybody knows that, and everybody does that every single day. And I can't thank you enough for allowing me to spend the best years of my life here. Thank you.
I think everybody who is coming is
Coming on up.
acknowledged, Dr. Jackson?
This is photo time, is it not?
Okay.
Yes, come on
Will
up.
all of our retirees who are present please come forward for a photo opportunity?
Thank you.
Where's Tony's certificate now? And we have
We're going to have a little reception. Everybody can just wait 1 second because we have one more honoree who's not retiring. But I think when California became a state, I was going to say Anne wasn't there, but she came soon thereafter. It is truly remarkable that a person puts in 20 and 30 years into a career. But when a person puts in a half a century, that is something that you truly stand up and take and honor and recognize. And tonight, we're going to recognize Ann Battle for 50 years of making Monrovia kids better. Thank you, Ann.
Apparently once is never enough. I think I've been here before for the same reason. So to all of you who have lost your minds and honored me twice, thank you very much. And since there's food outside and waiting for all these people, let's get with it.
Ann.
We're not done yet?
As usual, you just took over.
Well, yes.
Told us all what to do.
I try to be polite
This
about
time, we're not going to pay attention.
it. Okay. Annalisa's good at that, though.
Annalisa actually had a few words she wanted to share.
Oh, poor thing. I won't hold it against you. I know I have to give you a grade. So go ahead.
Good evening. I actually had the opportunity to take her photography class this year as a senior, and it's honestly been an amazing experience, and I've learned a lot about the rule of thirds, and it'll be pretty useful for everything in my life, I guess, as she would say.
Well, you'll have columns when you do your business thing.
Yes.
It'll work.
But I'd just like to thank you for everything you do, and I hope you get amazing students for as long as you teach.
And
okay.
And the remarkable thing is 50 years in the same school. Now, Ann has actually taught 51. 53?
Just not
Whatever.
here.
But 50 years at Monrovia High School.
Wow.
With some of her students perhaps here.
Let's see, there's one there and one there. And, wow. Well, some of the ones at the high school who are actually working as teachers I've seen before, like Mr. Eiler.
It might be. You want to? We do have a couple of things, but
Right. We have, if the gentleman would like to come
We'll
up.
let him talk.
That's always a scary thing on TV when a person says, "You don't remember me."
You got to understand now, the ladies look somewhat similar, but the gentlemen fill out, grow up, and you never recognize them again.
Most patients of all instructors at Monrovia High School had her in 1971.
Wow.
The hardest time. And she just looked at me and said, "You're either going to do this or you're going to get out." I created some pictures of my great-grandparents, which she helped me develop, which is passed down to my family. They passed away 30 years ago, but this woman is remarkable. And all she showed was nothing but love. And I too am an alumni, and I can't thank her enough for her patience and her love.
Wow.
So have you had enough yet, Dr. T?
We have two guests tonight that would like to recognize Ann's service to the community. We have Mayor Pro Tem Larry Spicer and Council Member Becky Shevlin, who are here, who would like to make a presentation.
I can
to you.
only lay claim to having tortured Larry, not Becky.
Well, this was a wonderful evening to come and visit you. I am just awestruck. This has just been absolutely amazing. And I feel badly because we only have this one certificate. There are so many people so deserving in this room that have given back so much to our schools, to our kids, our community, and thank you so, so, so very much. I'm Becky Shevlin. I'm on the city council, so we're another part of the leadership in the community. But what you do, teaching our kids and bringing them up and letting them go out in the world and whatnot, I just can't thank you enough for everything that you've done. And you're not done yet, right?
Well, I've told him I'm still going to stick around and torture them. So.
And last night we said goodbye to our your counterpart, our student representative at City Council, Jessica Orozco. So you guys do an awesome job coming and informing us all of what's going on the campus. At any rate, on behalf of the City of Monrovia and the City Council, presented to Ann Battle in recognition of your remarkable success over the last 50 years of service in the Monrovia Unified School District. Your devotion to education has changed the lives of countless students and truly made the community a better place. And as I said, all of you have made, and I thank you so very much for making the community a better place and doing so much for our kids. Thank you.
Board President Hammond, I had the opportunity of meeting at that time Ms. Ackerman back in 1969, and the print shop and the photo shop coexist in the same building. And I used to get kicked out of her class, you know, so I was a bad boy. But Ms. Battle, I just want to thank you, you know, for, you know, the things that you've did for my family. You've helped my kids out a lot. And everyone sends their love. I mean, you've been around a long time. You've been good to not just my kids, but to me. And I thank you for that, okay?
No problem.
God bless. No.
No, we're not done yet. You guys are getting very hungry, aren't you? I'm so sorry. I thought I was in charge, but I've obviously lost my touch on this thing. Yes, Chief?
You've lost control.
I know.
Ms. Battle.
Some
Now,
people I hang around with.
That may be true. Now in Monrovia, we have a tradition, and that is to give pins as a token of the appreciation for service years. We have a 5-year pin, a 10-year pin. We looked for a 50-year pin and could not find one.
I don't have one either.
It doesn't exist.
Okay.
So we've got instead a sash.
10 years?
10-year pin.
Oh, okay.
You gotta put your arm through it. Oh, okay. Like a queen. Oh, sorry, Karen. Sorry, Karen.
You better not go there. Enter that at your own risk.
Do you want to read these certificates?
And there were so many people that wanted to be here tonight, but what they said, they sent all their paper instead. Okay? Well, we're here, so I'll go as last. From Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. The fact that you do 50 years in the same place is just amazing.
A tribute to my stupidity, right?
Well, no. You know, it's your self-depreciating humor, I think, that I've always enjoyed about you. But the fact of the matter is, you get up in the morning for one reason, and that's to make the life of somebody else better. You always has.
I don't know about you.
And it's like being up here with Henny Youngman. Okay, Ann might be the only one old enough to know who Henny Youngman is.
You're right.
But Chris Holden, Catherine Barger, LA County, who has the most beautiful certificate. Their budget is way better than ours. And on behalf of the school district, we didn't think it was just enough to have something to hang on your wall. We wanted to find something that was unique, a little bit like you. So we have this, something that will commemorate this auspicious occasion with appreciation for your 50 years of service to the students of Monrovia Unified School District, dated today.
Thank you.
Now, can we get a picture with you?
Maybe.
Okay.
It'll be easier to
And then,
pose.
you don't have to, we'll come back and get all this, Ann.
Did you want me to hold that too? So you
I
know
think,
am?
I think the big one. I think
That
that
one's
one.
not going to show up, though.
It's okay. It'll look right through you. We'll be fine. Sure. Oh, Andy, you need to move over a little bit. You're the center. I've been waiting for this like all night. 50 years. There's actually been okay, Andy, you need to step back. Okay, Kathy. And I want it out balance. So I'm going to stand next to Brian. There we go. There we go. I'm unbalanced. Okay. This works just perfect. This is perfect. You guys want to go farther that way? This is perfect. No, it's just you two. And then everybody. We'll do it with you and then yeah, you can. Separate. It's okay. Let's do it.
If you are a student of Ann Battles, will you come up and take a picture with her? If you are a student of Ann Battles, will you come up and take a picture with her?
And we're going to recess for about 5 to 8 minutes. Hey, Brian.
See, Brian, that's what this is.
Okay, we'll go back to our board meeting. Up next, we will be having board reports. Ms. Lockerbie.
Thank you, Vice President Hammond. I wanted to talk to you today about the 9 weeks that 3 of our elementary schools got to spend learning some ballroom dancing. So Monroe, Brad Oaks, and Mayflower got to learn over the course of 9 weeks tango, salsa, merengue, foxtrot, and some other dances I can't remember, forgive me. But it culminated just this last week in a regional competition, and everyone was represented there. We went to Durfee Elementary School, or middle school in El Monte. And, you know, it was really funny to watch I think it was about 10 pair of kids from each school, and it was really interesting to watch them because some of the kids were really into it. And some of the kids were kids, and I don't want to touch a boy, I don't want to touch a girl, I don't want to have to dance with someone. And one of my kids was actually in opposition until my husband talked about opportunities and how there are opportunities that come along in our lives that we don't think matter or that we don't think we're going to need in the future. And then, you know, later on you discover that it was so important to have had whatever that was. And this dance opportunity, this 9 weeks of dance, was a wonderful opportunity. And I wanted to thank our Director of Performing Arts, Patrick Garcia, for finding a grant to defray some of the cost for this opportunity for so many of our elementary school kids. It was fun.
Very cool. Mrs. Durante.
Yes, thank you, Vice President Hammond. This week I was honored to be a judge for the MASA, Math and Science Academy Junior projects that we heard about earlier in the meeting. And judges had the opportunity to discuss projects with the individuals and teams where they had an opportunity to highlight their chosen topics, their research, the timeline, analysis, and conclusions. There were 37 projects in all. Let me tell you, I was quite impressed with their knowledge, enthusiasm to share their findings. And kudos to all the participants, and they should definitely feel very proud right now. Also, special thank you to MASA mentor and teacher Kristen Ford and the MASA Booster Club, which is an integral part of MASA's success. A little bit on the serious side, though, here. Today at 4 p.m., district representatives, including school board members, superintendents, teachers, and parents, convened on the steps of the California State Capitol in Sacramento to stress the importance of full and fair funding for education in California. We are there in spirit with our colleagues and share their message for full and fair funding. Let me read a little excerpt from the talking points provided by the California School Board Association. Despite boasting the 5th largest economy in the world and the highest gross domestic product of any state, California sits near the bottom nationally in nearly every significant measure of school funding and school staffing. Adjusted for cost of living, California ranks 41st in per pupil funding. We're 45th in the percentage of taxable income spent on education, 45th in student-teacher ratios, and 48th in staff per student. That's not good enough for our children, our state, and our future. California is the home of innovation and opportunity. We've never been content with average. To meet the needs of 6.2 million public school students and prepare them for an increasingly competitive, complex, and technological world, we simply must do more. We must secure full and fair funding for public schools. California is starving its school districts, and districts everywhere are being forced to make tough decisions in order to stay solvent and deal with unfunded mandates. If you are so inclined, please go to www.fullandfairfunding.org/#rally and sign the petition and get more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Jared, will you please tell us about all the great things happening over at Canyon and Mountain Park?
But as before I begin my sport report, I would once again thank the school board and Therosian and I would say the staff of Mountain Park, but they currently it's evac, but yeah, here in spirit. But I still would like to thank you all once again for this wonderful opportunity for being for serving as a student board member. It's been a rewarding experience, and to
love working with you.
And to top that off, I'm just going to make a little mention that I am glad or grateful even that the Monrovia Unified School District has these alternate as educational opportunities, such as Mountain Park and Canyon, for kids like me who don't normally fit into a normal high school environment. And now onto my report. Our ISPAC testing is now complete. Seniors will be graduating at the Clifton Auditorium on Tuesday, June 4th at 6 p.m. The rest of us anxiously await summer vacation and look forward to coming back refreshed and ready for a new school year. That is all I have to report for tonight. So once again, thank you all.
Thank you, Jared. And I want to tell you one thing. Young man, you fit just fine. You fit in with us really well. I don't know what that says for you, but you're okay.
No, it really has been a pleasure having you
Thank
here
you.
on the board. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you, Jared. Dr. Therosian.
Thank you, Board Vice President Hammond, members of the board. I am excited to announce that Jennifer Maljan was identified as our Teacher of the Year, and we have a photo with her and her family. They were able to make it down and help us surprise her. She has been an extraordinary educator here in the district, helping not only students but teachers in perfecting their craft. And here we have the Monrovia Days Parade. Actually, this is Brad Oaks. They were the winner of the Spirit Award for the MEO games, and they became the finale. Here we have the Monrovia High School mountain biking team, our Canyon Early Learning Center with our youngest students. And we have our the winning float, and it was an entry by Mayflower Elementary School. Oh. Mr. Hernandez and his class absolutely created a marvelous piece. So I'd like to thank everybody in Monrovia for coming out and just contributing to the celebration of Monrovia's birthday. And now, we also have Dr. Jeff Zamaripa here to give us a very brief overview of the boardwalk that we had at Santa Fe Computer Science Magnet School.
Good evening, board, cabinet. It's great to be back up here. It was great to have you at Santa Fe on Monday, April 22nd. The staff loved having everyone there that day. It was a wonderful day. I have the, right here. Thank you. So just a quick recap of our day and our year at Santa Fe. It's been a great year of growth for our school, and it's been a great year of growth for myself, being in Monrovia Unified the second year here, and we've really focused on developing a positive school culture as an entry point to increasing learning and learning outcomes at Santa Fe. We have lots of wonderful programs, and I'm thinking of Mrs. Lockerbie's comment a moment ago about opportunities, right? And sometimes we work hard at schools, even as art educators. We know that these opportunities are great for kids, but until you see them in action, it's really fulfilling, right? Because you don't even really know what exactly it is that's going to come out of this, and to see, just like the example we spoke of earlier, the music programs at Santa Fe. And again, thank you to the board and to the cabinet for their hard work to make these programs possible for the children. They really are, these are transformational opportunities. So I'm very proud of the offerings that we have at Santa Fe, and we look forward to continuing to grow those as well. We know that our children need a wide variety and diverse support, and this year we have developed social emotional learning programs to complement our attempts and support and enhance our attempts at truly educating and developing the whole child. We have our Cougar coaching on Wednesdays, which is time that we carved creatively. The staff worked together creatively to keep our minutes intact, but carve time out of the day so we can give anti-bullying and curriculum, our Olveus curriculum. Thank you to Dr. Kaiser for her support in bringing that into the school district. We work on what it means to have a growth mindset. We set goals, and we work on this on a weekly basis. And this communication then also works with the administration to support students with unique circumstances and needs. Our instructional focus is something that has really helped us align our goals. And here we are at this time of the year, as we wrap up, what we want to do is look at what we've accomplished, review this instructional focus, and look at our resources and ensure that this has a tight alignment to it. We were just in this room yesterday configured as our leadership PLC, and I was with my team from Santa Fe, and we've talked about how we're going to review this in a special meeting in June and prepare for the 1920 school year by making some tweaks to this based on, and of course we will use data and student outcomes to drive that discussion. This was a big year for us, and it's been great to share the journey of going one-to-one with the school board. So I can tell you now that it's gone very well, and something that started last year, under the direction of Mr. Puvakin, the wiring upgrade at the school was very effective. I was very nervous about how it would go, right? So when we put the devices under the control of the child and say, but these are the devices we are going to use for state testing, we had pretty much zero glitches. So we had over 520 devices every day pulling and going to the same secure browser website from the California Department of Education. And past experiences in other places have shown me how large swaths of rooms and hallways can get kicked off, and none of that happened at Santa Fe. None of that. I'm very proud of that. The wiring and the connectivity was great. We had bumps in the road over the last couple of years, but just kudos to everyone, right? I'm looking over at even business services because none of that happened. And I'm very proud to say that. So there's a lot of behind the scenes to making the technology and the one-to-one learning work effectively, and I'm very grateful to all the efforts of Monrovia Unified to make that successful at Santa Fe. So the Chromebooks will be collected in a few weeks, and everything's gone very well. So for knock on wood, right? Every day is a challenge with 11 to 14-year-olds, but by and large it's gone well, and we're looking forward to continuing that journey next year. This is a stepping stone. Each year we've already talked to as a staff about our next steps and how we continue to enhance and strengthen our pathways to the high school and continue to give greater opportunities to our students. Mr. Fluker brought the Digital Arts Academy over to present to the students on Monday, along with some other MHS opportunities. And it was really cool to see so many hands go up when he asked who knows how to code, who's interested in this opportunity. Because indeed, these were children who 24 months ago might not have known these skills. And maybe it's not in their future per se, but it is in their skill set now. So thank you again for a great visit. We look forward to seeing you again soon. I would be remiss if I did not close by saying, and I know we're so busy this time of year, but Santa Fe open house tomorrow night. Taco plates, $5. So.
Oh, there's tacos?
Yes,
Oh.
I know. There are tacos, and if you'd like, we're doing like a pre-sale for staff, and we'll fit you in from 4 to 5 if you want to come down a little early, get started. So thank you, Board of Education, for your time and investment and support of Santa Fe. We look forward to continuing to write very positive chapters with you. And thank you also to all, Dr. Terosian, your leadership in the cabinet, for your support of our school as well. Great things are happening, and we look forward to writing more successful chapters together. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the visit. It was very educational on all of our parts.
Thank you.
Up next, we have public comments. You can simply fill out a form and turn it in to Ms. Huff, and you shall be heard. Do we have any forms?
Yes. Board Vice President Hammond, I'd like to invite Ann Battle to the podium.
Good evening, Board. Having not seen you before tonight, my name is Ann Battle. I am now the MTA president, as opposed to the old teacher. Today was more or less a Red for Ed day, where probably thousands of educators descended on the state capitol asking them to take into consideration all of the things that are not right with our budget, which include the mandated special ed costs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we all know what those are. So we're hoping that maybe they will listen this time, as they have a glimmer of hope on the SPED piece and some other little kernels and nuggets that we are hopeful will be followed through with. Now to my other hat, the teacher at Monrovia High School. For years, we had Tom Reale as our video productions guy. He passed away in April. We are honoring him with a memorial service on June the 2nd at the high school auditorium, beginning at 4 p.m. So if any of you were former students, worked with him, or just want to celebrate Tom Reale, please feel free to join us.
And what time was that again? 4 p.m. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Board Vice President Hammond, Chris Blanton, if you could step to the podium.
Okay, I'm back. You guys tired of seeing me? Ms. Thorosian, can you explain to me, please? I'd like to receive a letter why you won't allow me to show a video.
You can address your comments to me, sir, and I will speak on behalf of the board.
This is to her because she denied me access to show a video.
Right,
I
no.
wanted to present, and I'm wondering why that is.
Dr. Terosian did not deny you access, sir. The board denied you access. And the reason why the board denied you access is because this is oral communication. It is not show and tell. And we do not know what's on that, and we are a public body, and we have no idea what's on that. We're happy to look at it if you'd like to give us a copy of it, but if you want to tell us what's on it, we're happy to do that too. This is your time to speak and address to us. Yeah. Happy to have you here, and thoroughly will listen to everything you have to say.
Okay, it was told to me by Shoshana that doctor was the one who denied me. So that led to the statement I just made.
Understood.
Okay. Also, I sent a letter in requesting a hearing for a suspension appeal. It was received by your secretary out here 6 days ago. I have a hearing on Friday, which is like 2 days, 3 days actually after the suspension was served. Can you tell me why that is? Which supposedly you can't answer any questions I have. So I'm wondering why the 6 days, but yet we were required to appear almost immediately for the initial suspension notification. Okay. Support time I've come here. It's not much have changed. 5:15, Anthony was verbally arguing with a student named Dylan. Yard aide Alana was present, and Mrs. Jackson claims to have seen it also. Having a verbal confrontation does not allow you to attack someone physically. Dylan threw 5 punches before Anthony struck back, defending himself. A video start of attack, which is the video I was going to show you. It shows a student throwing 5 punches at him before he punches back, and he gets suspended. So my first question is, if 2 administrators supposedly saw the whole thing, why wasn't it stopped before it became physical? Second, why has Anthony lost school privileges and been suspended for 5 days for defending himself per Monrovia Unified School District Administrative Regulation 5.44-1, page 2, subsection 1? He used self-defense. Why was someone who was assaulted get punished? Someone beat you up and you get suspended? It doesn't make sense to me. It's the first time in 3 years that he has struck back after dozens of times, way more than dozens, multiple dozens of times after being bullied. During the original suspension meeting with Anthony, he was told it was not defending himself if in fact he was verbally arguing with Dylan by Mrs. Jackson, which isn't grounds for suspension. If you're arguing with someone, that's not grounds for suspension. A physical attack is. So when you're attacked, why are you punishing the person who gets hit? That makes no sense to me. So I have a hearing a meeting on Friday with Mr. Jackson here, which leads me to another point. And I may be incorrect in this is what's told me, because I wrote a letter that I brought, and that he was supposed to be overseeing something that he's going to overturn his wife's reasoning, and I don't know that that's true. I can only go by the information that was given to me. So I'm talking to somebody on the phone, they're telling me something, and I have to go by what they tell me. And that's, I have the letter that was provided. I got the receipt of when it was brought in, which is the 16th, and I have a copy of the letter that was given, and it's addressed to Mr. Jackson and Miss Lynn. So, okay. Anthony, while in the nurse's office, saw Alana show tape a fight to Asia, who's the nurse. While in the meeting with Mrs. Jackson, my wife asked if there was any recording and was told no. So that doesn't jive, that she supposedly saw the whole thing, and if she did, she would have spoke to her yard aide, who supposedly had video, because he was in the nurse's office when it was shown. Just, so, and after being had been beaten up numerous times, he finally fought back, and then you get suspended? What, you're just supposed to get the snot beat out of you and you take it? Well, maybe next time it won't be so bad. I've already shown you pictures. If you like to look at his eye, it's nice and, he's got blood in his eye from where he was struck. And question for be more of the administration is, students actually broke up this fight. Not any teacher or no security. How is that possible when you have 2 administrators watching somebody fight and a total time of about 3 minutes? So you got 2 people watching it, and not breaking up the fight? Does that sound right to you? So it baffles me. I'm requesting revocation of the suspension and penalties. I got a phone call tonight that he's going to be able to walk during graduation, but not go to Magic Mountain. So that's the end of that, unless you want to ask me something.
No, I'm here to listen to you, sir.
Okay. I put two things that I wanted to discuss today. And the second is I'm making a formal request that the slogan world-class schools for world-class students be removed and replaced with one that's more like appropriate and honest. As you know, U.S. News and World Report just came out with school rankings. Are you aware of said article? Because it was in the Monrovia Weekly. Monrovia Unified is ranked 354th in California and 2,309th nationally. Okay, 3 local schools, you have 11.4% of your students are college ready. 16% of your students are mathematically proficient. 16. Explain to me how you run in a world-class school when you have 16% of your students that are math proficient. And this is U.S. News and World Report's figures. And you have 57% English proficiency. So, world-class school, Lachlan out of Flint Ridge, 218th in national, 26th in California. Math proficiency, 79%. Reading, 86%. You have San Marino, ranked 387th nationally, 48th in California, math 82%, reading 86%. Arcadia, 803rd nationally, 121st in California, math 67%, reading 77%. Do you feel any of these numbers are where they should be to call yourself a world-class school when you have 3 semi-local schools that are? Response?
No, sir, I'm here to listen to you.
Well, I'd like to hear one because I just sat through a love fest and...
This is it's a monologue on your part, and it's our opportunity to hear what you have to say. When you're completely finished, I will speak.
Well, I'm going to quote somebody, and it really makes me feel that that's what I'm addressing here. And it's the most difficult subjects can be explained to the most slow-witted man if he's not formed any idea of them already. But the simplest thing cannot be made clear to the most intelligent man if he's firmly persuaded that he knows already without a shadow of a doubt what is laid before him. If that doesn't fit what we're doing here, I don't know another quote that ever will. With that, I thank you for your time, and if you'd like to respond, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, it's not a dialogue.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate your time in coming down and letting your views be known. Dr. Tarosian, will you please assign a staff member to work with the gentleman to make sure that all the processes that he has talked about are followed to the letter, and making sure that wherever appeal process needs to be, that the family is aware of what all the appeals may be.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak to the board on any item that is not on the agenda or on the agenda? Seeing and hearing none, we'll close that portion of our meeting, and we will go on to an informational report from Connie Wu.
Yes. Thank you, Board Vice President Mr. Hammond, and the Board of Education, Dr. Tarosian, cabinet and staff member, and the Business Service Department report the 18-19 school year P2 average daily attendance report. Here's is the data back from 14-15 to 18-19. So we can see the trend for the district census day, which is the first Wednesday of October, that 1 day's enrollment versus the P2, which is accumulative attendance from the first day of school to the 8th school attendance month. This year, we saw a little bit decline for the attendance ratio compared with enrollment because of the weather, the rain, and the flu. And also, I want to take this opportunity to let the parents in the community know that if your kids miss school due to the illness and sickness, please take advantage to the makeup Sally school. We have an offer Sally school from the elementary school, middle school, and high school. So Saturday participation will be make up the absence due to the illness.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay. Take up the matter of the consent calendar. Does anybody need anything to be pulled? Then I'll entertain a motion for consent.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Maybe please have a vote.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
First up is Dr. Kaiser. We get to have a list of young people who are going to be graduating from Monrovia High School.
In the spirit of our celebratory evening, I am very pleased to bring this board agenda item, Board Vice President Hammond and board. We are recommending to the board that it is requested to approve Monrovia High School students for graduation on June 5th, 2019. The graduation ceremony reflects Monrovia Unified School District's goal of increasing and celebrating student achievement. With that in mind, Monrovia High School presents the following list of students for graduation who could be eligible at the time of graduation. Final certification of eligibility is contingent upon successful completion of all required work currently in progress.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, Canyon Oaks graduates.
Yes, the Board of Education is requested to approve Canyon Oaks High School students for graduation on June 4th, 2019.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Maybe please have a vote.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, Mountain Park.
The Board of Education is requested to approve Mountain Park School students for graduation on June 4th, 2019.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Maybe please have a vote.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, Monrovia Community Adult School.
The Board of Education is requested to approve the Monrovia Community Adult School students for graduation on May 30th, 2019.
Questions?
I have a question. The students from Canyon Oaks that are fifth year on the 5-year plan, do they graduate from Canyon Oaks or do they graduate from Mountain Park or do they graduate from?
It depends upon the program in which they're enrolled. Okay. They would have the opportunity to graduate this year.
That's it. Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, a new course offering at the high school.
Yes, the Board of Education has requested to approve Advanced Dance as a new course offering for high school students. The Advanced Dance is a course designed for students who have completed dance beginning and desire to prepare for participation in frequent performances that require a high level of skill. The California Performing Arts standards are interwoven throughout each unit, but each unit has a focus on one or two specific standards. This course enhances the high school's visual and performance course offerings. This course meets the requirements of the A through G and has been approved through the University of California Course Management System to satisfy the F Visual Performing Arts. This course also gives dual credit for performing arts and also PE credit.
Any questions?
Is there a book for this?
There's no book.
Perfect.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, a new course offering for Monrovia High School.
Yes, the Board of Education has requested to approve Advanced Graphic Design as a new course offering for high school students. The Advanced Graphic Design is a capstone course in the information and graphic design sector under the Arts, Media, and Entertainment Career Technical Education pathway. This course enhances the high school's offering of the course in the CTE pathway, thus increasing the capacity for the pathway completion, a California School Dashboard indicator. This course satisfies the G requirement of college preparatory elective in the requirements for A through G.
Any questions?
Are there any textbooks for this?
No, the materials are all internet-based.
Then I move to approve.
Any other questions?
I had another question. Is the instructor for this already, do we already have an instructor in place and they will be adding this curriculum into their schedule?
Yes, we have one current instructor at the high school who is teaching the career technical that is remaining in this field, and we are bringing another instructor next year to replace one that is existing. And these two instructors will be working together to split up the courses, so I don't know which one will be teaching this course, but they will be working through this pathway. We have enough interest in the media arts and the digital arts that it requires two full-time instructors.
Wonderful, thank you.
Any other questions? We have a motion on the floor.
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? May we please have a vote?
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, a new course offering at Monrovia High School.
Yes, the Board of Education has requested to approve web development as a new course offering for high school students. Web development is a capstone course in the information and communication technology sector under the Software and Systems Development Career Technical Education pathway. The skills and topics covered include HTML, CSS, JavaScript, relational databases, UX, UI design, object-oriented programming, and application frameworks. It is a very technical course. The web development is a capstone course in the information communication technology sector under the Software and Systems Development pathway. This course has been submitted for approval from the University of California Course Management System to satisfy the G college preparatory elective requirement in the A through G series. Completion of this pathway will prepare students to take and pass industry standard certified exams. And there is no cost associated with this course, as the instructional materials are internet-based.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, new course offering at Monrovia High School.
Yes, the Board of Education is requested to approve game development as a new course offering for high school students. Game development is a capstone course in the information and communication technology sector under the Games and Simulation CTE pathway. This course enhances the high school's offerings for the CTE pathway, thus increasing the capacity for the pathway completion, a California School Dashboard indicator. And this course has been submitted for approval from the University of California Course Management System to satisfy G college preparatory elective requirement in the A through G series. There is no cost associated with this course, as the materials are internet-based.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
I just want to say I'm really pleased at these course offerings that are going to be available to our students. Not only are they going to equip them in order to get their A through G requirements, but also give them certification so that they could also go to work. Very good. Very good.
On another note, with all of these courses that you have just approved, these courses are all part of the Career Technical Education pathway that is a part of our National Academy Foundation pathways and part of the California Technical Education grant that our district is a part of. And so the training and some of the work that is costly beyond what the course is for the students, that has been covered by this grant that is being directed by Dr. Catherine Real.
Outstanding. On to the revised course offering for advanced placement psychology.
The Board of Education is requested to approve the revised course description for advanced placement psychology as a course for high school students. AP Psychology is a rigorous College Board approved course for college-bound students. This course enhances the high school's offerings for the Humanities Academy and the Math and Science Academy students, as well as for any other student wanting to prepare for the AP Psychology exam offered in May each year. The original course description was approved at the May 25th, 2016 board meeting. However, it was determined not to proceed with the course. This revision updates the course and it aligns to changes within the College Board.
Any questions?
I do have some questions on this.
Mm-hmm.
So this AP course, we're not only just changing the description, but we're changing the focus?
No, it is the same AP course. There have been some updates, so we're updating the syllabus. It's a course that was approved in 2016, but it wasn't taught. And so we're bringing it back with the adjusted syllabus that meets the new requirements and recommendations of the College Board.
So it was approved, but it wasn't being used.
But we did not use the course.
Do we have the textbooks already? Are we using did we purchase textbooks, or do we need to purchase new textbooks?
We will need an additional set of textbooks, which will cost $2,500. And we do have a partnership with Citrus, and they do some cost sharing with us on the textbooks.
Do we have a non-AP psychology course currently?
No.
So we don't offer any psychology.
So how did this course come to being? I mean, I think it's great that we're offering, we just went through 5 new courses that we're going to be doing. And there's no expense to putting those courses together.
Right.
But as our enrollment has declined and we continuously expand, what is the driving force behind offering this particular course?
The driving force behind this has been through the Humanities Academy, and they've surveyed the students and they're responding to the interest of the students. They do have students that will fill this course in the next year.
And this is a year-long course versus a semester course?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Maybe please have a vote.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
This you too, Sue?
Yes, it is.
So this is the Sue program?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Up next, can I even pronounce it? Ingenuity. How come we can't-
Ingenuity.
Okay.
The Board of Education is requested to approve a 5-year agreement between Edgenuity Incorporated and the Monrovia Unified School District on behalf of Canyon Oaks High School to provide comprehensive digital licenses from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2024. The Every Student Succeeds Act, known as ESSA, requires the California Department of Education to determine school eligibility for comprehensive support and improvement. Canyon Oaks High School was determined eligible due to their graduation rate falling below 67%. As a result, the staff and administrators at Canyon Oaks collaborated multiple times a week to execute a plan to increase the rate of graduation of high school students over the next five consecutive school years. Federal funds have been set aside to facilitate district activities to support schools identified as CSI. The district's allocation is $177,442, with the understanding that credit recovery is instrumental in students graduating. Canyon Oaks is presenting this contract with Edgenuity as part of a plan to increase the graduation rate. Edgenuity offers a robust online catalog of customizable A through G, UC, CSU, NCAA approved courses as part of its online learning platform, offering a wide variety of credits and curriculum. Edgenuity is data rich, allowing students, staff, and parents to access updated information such as time involved and tasks completed. Members and administrators of the Canyon Oaks staff will receive additional training on how to capture and analyze this data throughout the year during site staff development meetings, as well as monthly district professional learning community meetings. The cost of Edgenuity is $97,500 and will be funded with the one-time funds of these CSI funds.
Any questions?
Is the cost for this program a one-time cost as well, or ongoing?
It's a one-time cost for the 5-year contract.
I have a request. And I know how hard all the folks work over at Canyon, and I know that we spoke about it here in these chambers about the news that came their way. What I would like to have as a part of this motion, actually, we could, is not only if we're going to approve, but have a report come back to us pretty regularly, say every 6 weeks, on what progress looks like, so that we can see we can see this thing working. Maybe 6 weeks is too much. 8 weeks, sometime a progress report.
We'll say regular intervals and check with the high school to find out what is reasonable.
Okay, that's fair. And I'm willing to accept that, but I'll make it part of the motion I'll ask whoever makes the motion to include that as part of the motion so that we can get some feedback and we can track.
Would you like that information in your Friday report?
That's probably a good place for it.
I think whatever is appropriate. I
Right.
don't know that we have a specific thing that we're looking for, but clearly if we spend $100,000, we would like to see the
Just
value of
tracking
it in whatever is an appropriate manner.
Now, isn't this CSI money is to increase graduation rate? So would every 6 weeks show us that we're on track for increasing our graduation rate?
I think that's an arbitrary time.
Yeah, it's whatever the right amount of time is. I will trust staff that you will come. We want to see the progress.
And
we want to see how this
yeah.
thing is working.
What we'll want to see is the rapid accumulation of credits.
Right.
Mhm.
And forgive me because I did not remember seeing this. Is there an exit strategy if this is not working?
If Edgenuity is not working, this is a contract for 5 years, so they'll have the product for 5 years. In terms of the school with their entire plan for exiting CSI, there's many strategies that they have in place. This is just one of them.
I understand. What I'm asking is, we spend $100,000 today for 5 years. I understand that. If after a year we determine that, you know what, this looked good, but it's not exactly what it is that we need, is there an exit that is, in other words, a poison pill somewhere in there that allows us to opt out?
Because this is a contract, I do believe that we are committed for the 5 years to have the product.
I'm really sorry to have to do this because this is those things that happen when you get to a public meeting. You think of them, and this is where they come out. So the question I have then is, do we have any experience with Edgenuity?
This product has been researched by the staff at Canyon Oaks, and it has been judged against many similar products that have been used over the years. And as they've looked at all of the products, this one has the most diversity, and it has, it's very similar to the Odyssey Wear that they were using, but it has some more features in terms of being able to do the data analysis and the real-time checking in with students. It's much easier for them to track, and so this was much more appealing. It's very similar to some of the other products that they've used with a degree of success.
Any other questions?
Just in a quick review here, it does not appear to be have any language to be prorated if we opt out at a particular point in time. The only opt-out clause is if our funding is insufficient to cover costs, but it's a one-time thing up front. So
once you spend it, you spent it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I couldn't recall there being anything in there.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
I move to approve with the addition of being updated at a appropriate time on the progress of the product.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, and any discussion? There is a motion and a second. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
No.
Motion carries 3-1.
Up next, Certiport.
The Board of Education is requested to approve a test center agreement between Certiport, a business of NCS Pearson, Incorporated and the Monrovia Unified School District on behalf of the Monrovia High School to act as a testing center to administer the Certiport Pathway Solutions and Methods exam. As we were talking earlier about the certifications, this is a contract to allow our high school to be a testing center so that students can take those exams for those certifications. The cost associated with being a test site is the purchase of a minimum of 10 exams at $75 each, or $750. The cost of these exams will be covered through the CTIG grant, our Career Technical Education grant, under a separate sales order and terms of agreement.
Any questions?
Just to be clear, at no point in time we're going to have to charge students or their families for these.
No, we will be covering that with the CTIG grant funds.
Perfect.
And right now, we're purchasing 10 exams. If we have more requests to take more exams, will you need to bring that request to the board?
Right now, what this agreement is that we will purchase a minimum of 10 exams, and so this is to become the testing center. The next item that we'll be looking at is the certifications themselves. This is the condition of this contract.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? May we please have a vote?
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser, one more Certiport.
Yes, we do have one more. The Board of Education is requested to approve a sales order terms and conditions with Certiport, a Pearson VUE business. This sales order agreement will give our Digital Studies Academy students access to one of two certifications: an Adobe Certified Associate Certificate, which certifies a student as proficient in the Adobe Suite area of Illustrator, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, in design and/or Dreamweaver for our Digital Studies Academy. And a Unity certification is an entry-level programmer certification specific for our gaming and simulations pathway. The cost of 15 exams for the full Adobe Suite will be $1,137.75. And these exams will be covered for our students with our CTIG grant.
Questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? May we please have a vote?
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Kaiser.
The best for last.
I thought you thought I was going to forget you.
Okay, the Board of Education is requested to approve a memorandum of understanding, a partnership agreement for services provided by Monrovia Unified School District on behalf of the Monrovia Community Adult School from May 23rd, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. This is a partnership between Monrovia and Temple City School District. And in a little summary of this, Temple City doesn't have the means to provide courses that their students need, and we do. And so Temple City is wanting to enter into a partnership with us whereby they will give us their students, and their ADA comes with those students to our adult school for us to educate their students. And so by agreeing to this, then it will go before the Temple City Board, and they will agree to release their students to us.
Good thing. Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Will you please have a vote?
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Up next is Ms. Wu on a contract agreement with Field Turf.
Yes, good evening, Board of Education. On November 14, 2018, the board has approved the MHS field turf replacement with upgraded material and the copper infield grade upgrade for additional cost. This past Friday, the district and the field turf did the site job work and realized that our field is uneven. So the field turf, which is a contract, suggests that they're regrading the base for $18,000, which is this new cost we just realized last Friday. So we would like the board to approve the additional cost to regrading the base for $18,000 and the cost of the performance and payment bond for additional $2,695.97, so which is the change of the cost for total field replacement at Monrovia High School will be $210,777.97.
Any questions?
Just make sure we're all on the same page. So this is the existing contract or discussions that we already had with Field Turf. And the only thing that we're altering at this point in time is we're opting to have our field re-leveled before the new turf is put on.
That's correct.
Perfect.
And the cool play, isn't that right? Or was the cool play already?
That's already been approved.
Already approved, yeah. Just bring to board attention, and we made some rewarding for the contract. Basically, in the first page of agreement, instead of saying that the original Spring products was wear tear, and they say that the district claimed that the field is prematurely wear tear. So just rewarding. So just want to let board know.
Right, and I want to address that before we go to a vote.
Mm-hmm.
The issue about the wear and tear on the field. When the community voted to expend the money to pass the bond that created the sports facility, it had a lifespan when it did that. And wherever we are right now in that life, we're going to give it a shot in the arm and take it into the future. And the reason why we're spending the extra money is because we're going to get a new warranty on that for a pretty good time. But the fact of the matter is, members of our community get to utilize the high school track and they utilize the field. I want to use our resources that we have with communication to the public, that we are, every time that we use that track for non-school use, it speeds up the life expectancy of that track. So if we were only using it for track meets, we might be able to use it for 20 years. But because we have invite the public to use the track that they own and they should be able to use it, they should know that they're speeding that lifespan, the life expectancy up. So instead of being a 20-year deal, it's now a 10-year deal or something like that. I would like to have a communication going with the community on that. What exactly that we did do, because I think it's the right thing to do, because the community owns it. We should keep it in good repair, and we should make it available to them since they are the ones that own it. But with the ownership comes the responsibility of knowing exactly what it is that you're doing, which is we're opening it up and it's costing something. This is, what was the word that Mr. Rosenstein said? There was a opportunity cost. There's an opportunity cost here by opening it up to the public, and I think the public should be intimately aware of what that is. So if we could do that, I think that would be very beneficial, because no one really knows.
Mm-hmm.
You turn the lights on, people come, they have a good time, they go home, and it's the other guy that takes care of it. Well, it's you.
It would definitely be less bad.
Yes.
if we went down that path. And I do think that when we put this in, there are things that we can do within the school that I think can help prolong our track and our field. I do think that the people who have used our facilities, for the most part, people who walk on a nightly basis, the people who have used the field have been very diligent about making sure that they take good care of it. And I think that we, as a school, can take a couple steps to make sure that the track will last longer. For example, putting the arms out for some reason we don't do. And that protects the inside lanes on the track.
Putting the arms out?
Yeah, there's a swing gate that comes
There's
out. that
big
keeps
gates
you
that
off
go
the
out
center.
that protect it. So when you're not using it for a track meet, the average person will walk on the inside line of the track, and so that portion wears down more. So there's small things that I think we can do, enforcing no food and drinks onto the track either, instead of using the track as this giant kitchen table, because they're good about not putting it on the field. So they put it on the track. Well, that rips up the track too when everybody starts spilling and using the track with wheeled vehicles and dragging things across it. So I think that we can be a little bit better about enforcing rules and making sure that people who do use our facilities follow those rules. And most of the people, I think, will be very respectful of it. But with that being said, we did get a full life out of that track and field. Even with all the additional community use, we were still at towards the end of the useful life that was given to us by the manufacturer. So this was a big bonus for us, in my opinion. But let's just take this advantage to make this one last, because I don't know if we're going to get this lucky again in another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Would that be with the addition of doing the outreach to the community?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Entertain a motion. Vote, please. Thank you.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Ms. Wu, a resolution to establish self-insurance fund.
Yes, as the board have already approved that the district joined the ESCAPE and JPA to handle and support us for the works comp claim starting the July 1st, 2018. And the board also aware of that because of the San Gabriel Valley self-insurance for the works comp dissolution, the district becomes self-insured for all the claim occur before July 1st, 2018. In April, the district received a residual equity partial check from the San Gabriel Valley Self-Insurance Authority, and we would like to set the money aside to continue manage or pay off the claim before the July 1st, 2018. In order to make accounting set up properly, we request the board to approve set up a new fund, which is not exist in our book right now, which is Fund 27, which is Fund 67, and the County Office of Education required the board to have a resolution in order for us to set up that fund.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So basically what we've done is we've ended our insurance coverage with one group, with the JPA. We have the liability of claims still outstanding, but we are also getting a refund back, for lack of a better term, to resolve any of these new claims that could come against us at a future point in time. So there's a gap between leaving our old JPA insurance and starting our new insurance. And the purpose of these funds is to take care of any of those particular claims. Is that correct?
Yeah, take care of those claims is happened before July 1st, 2018. That's correct.
And so by setting up a separate fund, we won't commingle any of those funds with our general funds. So we'll always know exactly where we stand with those. It would also be my understanding that once that time limit expires and we have no other claims that could be made against us, those funds would then be transferred to our general fund. Is that correct? What would happen to those funds once the potential liabilities were gone?
So I hope this definitely can happen, but it's good news if that happen. If that happen, I would like to stay as the works comp if possible. And if the money is surplus, then that's correct, because the funding is come from part of the premium, and the premium is belong to the general fund.
So yes, we can. It can go to the general fund. Both Connie and I looked at each other when you offered that scenario, because it's not necessarily likely, but you know, rainbows and unicorns, Mr. Wong.
All right, so the next option would be, if there's no excess funds, that means we're going to have a shortfall of funds. So those shortfall of funds are then going to be coming from where?
General fund.
From the general fund. At this point in time, have we run any models to determine whether you think that we're going to have a surplus or a deficit?
Right now, we have when the JP release all the equity to us, we will have around $3 million, but we also have 26 open cases. So what we are doing is we are diligently close the old opening cases, because this school year for the older cases we already paid $500,000. So you're right, it will be challenging, but we will do diligently try to close the open case as much as we can.
Based on the information you have today, what are you estimating that our shortfall or surplus is going to be?
Right now, I don't think there's a shortfall, but if the longer those old claims stay, there's a possibility we will have a shortage.
Ms. Wu, do you believe that will come about even? That money that is estimated by the JPA to be able to cover those open cases is a pretty accurate match?
It's difficult to say right now, because this is an older case, is ongoing, because it depends on how long those cases open, and then it's future medical, because certain employee, as far as the claim open, in the future something happen, they can come back to reopen the cases. So yeah, it's difficult for me to say right now, because I don't know whether they will come back to see the doctor again.
Once their case is closed, if they have the right to come back, when does that end? How long do they have to come back and file additional claims?
So let me just a little bit clarify so that I'm clear to you. For those cases already closed, most likely they cannot come back. There are certain cases they have a future medical, so which means the case will still open. So once the case said that you have a future medical, then they can come back all the time. So we try to close this case as a pay off the injured employee, so that they cannot come back. If the case is closed, settled, but there is future medical, then I'm not aware of any limitation. They can come back, because depend on their nature of the injury.
Do we have secondary insurance that if these additional expenses far exceed our $3 million?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working with the third-party administrator to try to close the case as much as possible. At the same time, I'm looking for the JPA who can or who is willing to take our runoff cases, which is the old injury case which happened before July 1st, 2018. I'm still working on it, and I will let you know, because right now try to persuade Escape to see whether they can also take our older cases, because since they are our current JPA, but they will not, they need some time to exactly understand our open cases, what is the potential liability they potentially have, then they will make the decision whether they accept us, or if they do, how much premium they will charge us.
There's nothing scarier than open-ended liabilities due to ongoing health problems. And although $3 million may sound like a lot of money, 26 cases sounds like a lot worse scenario. So I understand the fact that you may not have a projection at this point in time, but I would like to think and hope that we are going to get updates on this, because this can have a very significant impact with our budgets as they're coming up. So, you know, efforts for reinsurance are clearly would be the safest way to go, so we at least can cap or know what a ceiling would be for our exposure. But in addition, as far as setting up the account, clearly I think it needs to be done.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion and a second. Discussion. May we please have a vote?
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Jackson, declaration of need for fully qualified educators.
Board Vice President Hammond, members of the board, Dr. Terosian, the Board of Education is requested to adopt the Declaration of Need for Fully Qualified Educators for the 2019-2020 school year. The Monrovia Unified School District is committed to ensuring that persons employed in positions requiring certification of qualifications possess the appropriate credential or permit from the Commission on Teacher Credentialing, also known as the CTC, authorizing their employment in such positions. When a fully credentialed teacher is not available, the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing allows for issuance of emergency permits and limited assignment permits under certain conditions. These permits are only available to teachers who hold valid multiple subject, single subject, or special education credentials. These emergency permits may be issued for English learner certification, bilingual authorizations, and for hard-to-fill positions. After a review of the district's past needs, it is anticipated that this declaration of need for fully qualified educators will only be used to request permits for English learner certification and bilingual authorization in the 2019-2020 school year, and there are no budget implications.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there discussion? May we please have a vote?
Board Member Wong?
Yes.
Board Member Lockerbie?
Yes.
Board Member Travanti?
Yes.
Board Vice President Hammond?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Dr. Terosian, pending board issues.
Just a comment. As things seem to be moving ahead in the Assembly and the Senate, just with some of our bills passing, and just as Board Member Travanti mentioned about the as well as Ms. Battle for the full and fair funding. If opportunities arise in the next, between meetings, to submit letters of support or resolutions for full and fair funding in California, is the board interested in my following through and doing that? Should we not have a meeting in between?
Right. If there is an opportunity for us to let our voice be known that we want to be fully and fairly funded, I think we should absolutely write that letter.
There will be calls to action in the next few weeks, I'm confident, and I will get started on those.
Thank you, Dr. Terosian.
Anything else? This is indeed the busy time of year. We will have our regular board meeting here on June 12th. By the time we get back together again, all the schools will have promoted and graduated, so congratulations to everybody who's promoting, and congratulations everybody who is going to be graduating in advance. Our meeting will be on the 12th of June and on the 26th of June. Tomorrow is an open house at Santa Fe Computer Science Magnet School. I hope to see folks there. Promotion schedules are posted on the school's website. Let's see, we have Memorial Day coming next Monday. You do not celebrate Memorial Day, you honor Memorial Day, so I hope people take advantage of the opportunities where you can go honor people who are the reasons why the day is set aside. If there's no further business before this body, we will stand adjourned at 9:47. you.